Hi guys, my name's Ruth. I'm also known as Moonrabbit with Oasis Gaming, and today I thought I'd share my community moment with you, or basically a short story on the positive impact gaming has had on my life. So video games have always been a source of fun for me. I remember growing up playing Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and with my dad we played Paperboy. That was one of our favorites. Board games, card games, all that good stuff. But it wasn't until the last 3 years or so that I discovered the gaming community as it is today. And it's been really cool, and it started in a really surprising place. So I think it was in 2017 I saw an ad on my phone for a mobile game called Love Nikki. Simply put, it's basically a kind of like, think like paper dolls with anime. It's a dress-up game. But within the game, there are mini games, there are like daily quests and communities and all this kind of stuff. It like is a really deep rabbit hole. There's this whole lore behind it and all this stuff. I quickly got obsessed. But basically I downloaded it because I like anime and I thought it looked cute, just like as a pastime. But as I got into it, I discovered online that there's a whole community behind it. It's a worldwide game. Probably millions of players, I guess, play all around the world on multiple servers. And I hadn't really encountered something like that before in my gaming experiences. And it was just so cool to see all these other players online talking about the game, strategizing, like how to, achieve better scores, like that kind of stuff. So I got into that, and that ended up leading me to Discord, which I had never heard of. And on this game's particular Discord server, they have their community, which is thousands and thousands of members. And within that, you can join in like specific in-game guild. So I ended up doing that a few years ago and found this guild that I'm still part of today. And I've been playing this game almost daily for the past, 2.5 years or something? But yeah, this association, this guild, it's called Moon Children, and I've been hanging out with them on Discord ever since. So I've been a part of this association for 2+ years now, and I am so grateful to have these people in my life. I haven't met them in person. I just hang out with them online almost daily. And we've become really good friends over the past few years. We talk about all sorts of things, not just the game. We play other games together. We've watched movies together. We talk about our pets. And we talk about some deep stuff sometimes. We've opened up a little bit over the past few years, and there have been times when I've been going through some tough stuff, and they've been there for me, and I try to be there for them. And it's just been really amazing seeing. It's just wild to me to think how, like, I just downloaded this silly game as a pastime, thinking, oh, this will just be something I do when I'm bored, to no, now I'm part of this community, and it's just been really cool. These friends are awesome. We send each other care packages sometimes. We do our own version of like a Secret Santa every year now. And one of those friends in particular, we were discussing, we actually were discussing street epistemology, which I had discovered on Reddit or something. And she introduced me to Objectively Dan, who I hadn't heard of. And I'm guessing a lot of you have heard of him. But that led me down this rabbit hole of this whole atheist community, which I hadn't really discovered before, or even really thought that I could look for an atheist community. In the past 10 years, I didn't really think that I could even look for that type of community. I grew up in a evangelical background, kind of, and when I left that, I just kind of thought, okay, well, I guess I'm on my own. And I happened to meet my husband, my best friend, who is also not religious, and that's it. I just didn't think there was anything else, I guess. But so yes, I definitely got down this rabbit hole after she introduced me to Objectively Dan. And one of his episodes of his podcast, he had a co-host and someone called in and they asked about, where can I find community? I'm an atheist and I don't know anyone that's secular or non-religious. And so they ended up linking a website in that video to a list of atheist and secular communities in the US. And that's where I discovered Oasis. And within that, I discovered Oasis Gaming. So that's just been really freaking cool. I have some amazing friends and family in real life, but it has honestly been a struggle to find other like-minded people. I've volunteered for other organizations and tried to find ways that I could give back to my community and connect with people, but have honestly had a hard time finding something that was not religious. So when I discovered Oasis and Oasis Gaming, it was really exciting. And when I read the core values on the Oasis site, I remember thinking like, wow, these are my people. This is what I've been looking for, but what I didn't think existed. I enjoy talking to them about all sorts of things. They're incredibly accepting and open, like that's part of their values, but they really are accepting and really kind people. And it just means so much to me that they've welcomed me and included me in their community, and I'm really just super happy to be here. So it's just so funny to me to look back on the chain of events that led me here. It started with seeing an ad on Instagram for an anime game. Thank you, Love Nikki, and Discord, and this chain of events that brought me to this community that I feel really blessed to be here and to be growing in my local growing Oasis community. Like, maybe I would have still discovered this in a different way, but I think it's cool that it ended up happening this way. And you know, it's so interesting to think about how cool the gaming industry is and how vast and wide and varied it is, and all the amazing art and storytelling and puzzles, but also discovering new communities and friends. So thanks so much for having me, and I hope we see you in Oasis Gaming. We have a great time and would love to have you join us.